beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight was. And wow, this is another one of those days. Do you have a kite? Today is one of those days to go fly a kite. Starlight, that's mean. No, I ain't really mean. Go fly a kite. So anyway, I love you so much, and I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight was. And it is. It's a beautiful, windy day. And throughout this whole week, it's been like somebody's got the light switch, let it rain, sprinkle, stop, sprinkle, stop, So that's what this whole week has been like. So anyway, I don't really care. I am just grateful that I'm able to get outside. There's no snow on the ground. So anyway, I love you so much. And I really am inspiring you to really, 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 really be gentle with yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself, like not getting the things done that you want to get done and not being where you want to be. Is you have to be so gentle with yourself. And I had to learn this on my journey here on this mission with God. So anyway, I love you so much, and thank you to all of you, yes, you, who have been here even before I started my YouTube channel and still here today, and also anyone and everyone who has joined me from the time that I started and still here today, or even recently just joined me. So thank you to all of you who've been here watching my videos, subscribing to my YouTube channel, giving me a thumbs up, or leaving me a message down below, or sharing my videos. So thank you. And whether you agree to this or not, we all need each other one way or another. And so thank you for being here. And thank you for being patient with Starlight, because I've had to grow as I've been going. I'm growing as I'm going. And isn't that where we all are? Nobody's arrived. We all have areas somewhere in our life where we can grow, and there's so many areas. So anyway, I love you so much. And so also, if anyone would love to send any love donations, you can through my Cash App, and I will have the information here. Ping, there it is. And also, before I start this message, hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give my videos a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget the notification bell, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, 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 and you can share my videos with your family or friends. Plus, don't forget my playlist, and you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. Now today it's about focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. I'll tell you what, years ago, long time ago now it's been, I used to be focused on what other people thought of me. I really was. I was like, what does my mom think about me? What does my dad think about me? What does my brother, think of me? What does the people out in society think of me? What do they think? What do they think? And so we all have gone through this somewhere in our life. So this is about focus on yourself. And, when you take the focus off of you and you put it on other people, it's like you're putting them ahead of yourself, always looking for people as a validation, hey, do I get your, approval of what I'm doing in my life? Who cares? If don't worry about what they think. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Please focus on yourself, like I am focused right now on myself. I know throughout my whole life, I would get an ideal, something that I wanted to do, like a dream job, work on something, like maybe write a book, And so I always went, and went to my family and said, hey, yeah, I want to write a book. Some of my family is actually really, my brother is no longer here. I'll tell you, there's areas that he inspired me because he knew that I had stories and I had something to help a lot of people out in the world, So my brother, when he was here, which he's no longer here, is that he did inspire me to do things like write a book. But then there's people out there, they discourage you. And I have to say, even though there's times that I have family members that might have inspired me to some things, and other things, they were putting fear in my life and saying, you can never do that. Like writing a book, for example, is, Starlight, you can't do that. You never even graduated. Like, how are you going to write a book? And so you got to focus on yourself. You'd be surprised what you can do, when you're determined enough, to do it. And when you got something to share to the world, you could do anything that you put your mind to, and it's easy to say that, but to actually step out and do that, and not to answer to other people, is just to get out there. Stop trying to think that you need to get somebody else's permission to go after that dream that you have in your reality that you want to do. It's amazing. I meet a lot of people on this mission here who they're doing stuff. They might be afraid. They might have, obstacles like we all do that might, make them stumble a little bit. But, I just recently met a man out here somewhere, and you know what? He wants to put love out in the world, messages, inspiring people. And is he where he wants to be? No, he's not where he wants to be right yet. But you know what? He took that step and he's out there doing it. It's not easy stepping out and just facing your fears and not worrying about what other people think. If I, long time ago, before I started my YouTube channel, if I went and, asked my family, hey, what do you think? I want to start a YouTube channel. Oh, I don't think you could do it. Nah, I don't. So that's why you got to really focus on yourself, because not everyone believes in themselves to believe that they can do stuff. That's why they go to you, looking for you to inspire them, because, and that's what Starlight did before, is I was really hoping people would inspire me to do stuff, great things out in the world. But you know what? It backfired, I was like, yeah, I want to write a book. And then there's times that people didn't want me. What do you want to write a book about? So, oh, well, this is what I want to write a book. And I'll tell you what, it's sad. I used to go to a therapist. It started off like once a month, because Starlight was going through a lot of stuff, and I needed somebody to talk to. I needed somebody that I didn't have to worry about them talking to other people about my private, my private things. I needed somebody that I could talk to, where, other family members wouldn't know about it, or they wouldn't judge me or criticize me for the things, or, make me feel bad about opening up. And it's so sad that this can happen, and it did happen. So I'm not making this stuff up as I go along. But even you could tell people that you think that it's their job to inspire you, and they could fail you. Because long time ago, when I was seeing my therapist, I put her on, I was like, wow, she's amazing. And I'll tell you what, there's some people out there, they have jobs like a therapist, or, different positions out there in the world that are supposed to help people out. And it takes time to get to know people. There's people like a therapist, and even doctors, or police officers, in these different professional fields, that they will help you out somewhat, but they don't want to help you out. And that's what happened with my therapist, is that I was exposing stuff going on in the hospitals. You know, I thought that as a therapist, she would have made a report on the things that I told her that happened in a hospital, but she never made a report because it affects her and her job, you know, and her, where she was. So there's going to be people that you're going to tell, hey, yeah, I'm going to expose the whole hospital and the doctors and what they're doing. Well, did my therapist inspire me to write a book about what I experienced? Absolutely not. Actually, the day that I opened up my big mouth and said, oh yes, I want to make this book. I want to get this story out. People need to know what happened to me in the hospital, you know, and how the doctors are drugging up their patients and, you know, trying to keep them into a psych hospital and not set them free, and how the staff members in the hospital was triggering the patients, and how there was abuse going on in the, you know, the hospitals. She, instead of inspiring me to write this book to get the truth out, instead, she was playing mind games with me, triggering me. And I just was blown away. I just was like, what the blank? You're supposed to be helping me. Well, you know what? It was a big ass wake-up call. Even that system was corrupt. You know, so you know, there's going to be many times that you're going to find yourself standing alone. And, you know, you might reach out and tell people how you want to help out and do something in the world. You know what? You might have a beautiful heart, and you might have stories that really can help people, true stories to inspire people. But don't be surprised that you might not have anybody there cheering you on. And that's why you need to be your biggest cheerleader, you know. And so I do have somebody out there that would, one person that was cheering me on throughout this whole time. I mean, there's, as I started my YouTube channel, then I've had people that have joined my YouTube channel that has been cheering me on, but they got their life, you know, and they got things that they struggle with. So, you know, that means that you can't always count on other people to always be there to cheer yourself on. That means that you gotta know that you got what it takes. You gotta have confidence in yourself and believe in yourself. So stop going around thinking that, you know, you need other people's approval, you know, even when it comes to appearance, you know, is, you know, like, do what you want to do with yourself and the clothes that you want to wear. Don't worry about, you know, pleasing other people and dressing, you know, to please other people. Like, I was at the church before, and you know what? They took my free will away and tell me what I had to wear. And if I didn't wear what I wanted to wear, I was attacked in the church. You don't have to ask people's permission or say, hey, what do you think about this, what I'm wearing? What do you think about what you're wearing? You know, I want to go, you know, I want to wear, a lot of people don't wear what they want to wear, but because they're afraid of what society is going to think of what they're wearing. I'll tell you what, I would love to invent my own clothes because I love colors, I love flowers, I love bright colors all the time. If I could wear bright colors all the time, I would. That's what I like. And I don't really care what other, you know, it's how I feel what I wear. So stop going out and trying to get everybody's permission, you know, to become the great person that you are. You know, just get out there and do what you want to do. And it's best, really, if you want to do something, because I had to learn the hard way. I didn't really know this in the beginning when I started a YouTube channel. You know, I learned it after. You know, it's like, if you got some dream that you want to work on, don't tell anybody, because they could discourage you more than inspire you to even do it. Because when I said about writing a book before, I had people like, oh, you can't do that. Your grammar, Starlight, look at your grammar. You know, I've even had people, you know, leave me comments on my YouTube channel about my grammar. Imagine that I just listen to those people and like, yeah, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because they're picking on my grammar? To me, if they're so smart about grammar and using it in a proper way, then they should be smart enough to understand what I was saying. You know, like a teacher, you know, students are going to write stuff and it's not going to come, you know, when they're learning how to use grammar and write English, they know, oh, okay, I see what they were saying, you know, they wrote this out, but they worded it, you know. A teacher's going to spot that, you know, a mile away, knowing, oh, they worded it this way and this is what they meant, because they understand all of it. So for somebody to pick on my grammar, well, are they really that smart enough that they had to actually bring that up? It wasn't even it's not about, and this is the whole point. Forget about these people that want to nick and pick, because they're the ones that will, you know, stop you from living your dream, getting your message out. So you forget about what people think. You know, you can learn as you grow and as you go, as far as, you know, learning what to do. And that's how you know, if you just waited the whole time like, oh yeah, okay, so I got to go to school somewhere to learn this, and then I'll go. Well, that by the time that happens, you know, you might forget why you even went there in the first place, why you went to even, you know, to go to learn. And life can happen. You could get distracted and pulled away from really what you were supposed to work on. So you got to listen to yourself. Stop listening to everybody else, because that's what tripped me up a lot in my life, in my past. Listen to what everybody else. I want to get married. What do you think? It doesn't matter what they think. If you want to get married to somebody, what do you think? You know, are you, you know? And a lot of times what happens is that we don't listen to the inner voice inside of us. We got this little, small, still voice that kind of tells us, but a lot of times, you know, I've been there, is I ignored that little, small, little voice that said, don't marry that man. You know, I had no peace. I was listening to everybody else. I was being pushed into something that I didn't, you know, really the small, still voice. There was warning signs all around. I ignored all the warning signs. You know, there's times that we need to take risk, and there's other times that we need to really listen to ourselves. Listen to your intuition. That is your guide. You know, stop trying to people please by getting everybody's approval for, you know, there's people that will do different things with their body, you know, tattoos, you know, a lot of time, hey, I want to go get a tattoo. And a lot of times they might want to hear what you got to say about it. If you want to go get a tattoo, go get a tattoo. Surely it's like, I don't want a tattoo. That's okay. I have that freedom. I have a free will that, hey, I don't want tattoos. I thought about having one long time ago, like when I was a teenager, and I'm so grateful I didn't, you know, because I was really, you know, just because I don't like tattoos. If you want to get a tattoo, go get a tattoo. If you want to get a piercing, where? Go get a pair, you know, like, it's your body. So you gotta listen to yourself, because other people are going to tell you what they want you to do. It's not their life, it's yours. Don't let other people get in your way of your dreams by, you know, there's times that you could tell people, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to help out, you know, inspire people out in the world. I want to, you know, like really, if we all just jumped in and did something to help out in the world, this world wouldn't be the way it is. But there's people that will get jealous. They want to be better than you. They want to be up here and have you down here. So a lot of times people don't want to have you do things because they want you down here. They don't want you to be happy. You know, and so there's people out there, they won't even say shit. You're like, yeah, I want to do this. And you're like, I want to hear what they got to say. I'm so excited. And they don't say shit. They already said what they, that in itself, they said stuff without saying anything. So when people don't say anything, when you are excited about something, they don't cheer you on, those are the people that really don't have your back. It's the ones that are out there that are cheering you on. They believe in you. They believe in themselves. They're doing stuff because they believe in themselves. So stop listening to other people, listen to yourself. And sometimes we got to actually cut the cords on these people, because those people, if you told them what you're working on, they would, they're not going to want you to do those things. So anyway, I love you so much. Is focus on yourself. Don't worry about what other people tell you. If you want to go travel around the world, if you want to, because people are doing this, you want to quit your job and just go travel around the world. They're like, no, you can't do that. Because I tell you, so many people they didn't want me to leave New York. They were trying to stop me. There's alligators out there. You're going to get bugs in your car. Somebody's going to attack you, Starlight. Don't go out for that hiking trail. I mean, a lot of these things, fear-based. Let love guide you, not fear. I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.